right after that game we just played. Crushing defeat, but we will be alright. So we're going to go ahead and scout here. I believe this guy was scouting catchers. Did we do West already? We did, so we'll go ahead and finish it off with Central. And pick up a dude to scout here. We'll go ahead and do him. Alright. So this is going to be a simulation episode. We're going to go ahead and get to the end of this month. And I'm going to play a game against the Yankees. Well, actually, maybe not, because they're only 4-15. Looks like they are struggling mightily. I'd like to play a game in Yankee Stadium, so we might see. We'll monitor that, and we'll see what happens. But we'll go ahead and start simulating a couple games. Fultonevich on the mound gets a loss. JD Martinez no longer injured, so we'll go ahead and make sure he is put back into the lineup, and he is. So Haniger struggling. Chris Davis struggling as well. We're going to leave Haniger in the left field role for now, but could be replaced shortly. So we'll give him to the end of this month to get his batting average back up a little bit, and we'll see what happens. So Aaron Blair on the mound here. Loss to the Mets. So we need both of these games against the Mets. Those are pretty important games here. Vargas gets a loss, and that loss is credited to Vizcaino. And now Julio on the mound here. Julio struggling this season. Another no decision, but unable to get run support for Julio. So we'll go ahead and scout here. Pick up this starting pitcher to scout him. It's now a series against the Milwaukee Brewers. So need to win this series big time after we've lost for 6 straight games. A victory. Stroman gets a win here against the Brewers. Now Fultonevich on the mound. It's a 1-0 win, so another good win there from the Braves. And the final game of the series, see if we can sweep them. Austin Riley has been injured. We'll keep him active. Chris Medlin out for 1 to 2 weeks. And we lose. So Aaron Blair unable to finish the sweep. So we're completely done scouting catchers. We'll go ahead and move to outfield. We'll do power and contact here, and we'll start in the East. Pick up another player to scout here. And we'll go ahead and simulate this last game of the month. And the game right after. So Julio on the mound gets another loss. Julio 0-3 on the season after a great season last year. Starting to struggle a little bit here. So we'll go ahead and check up on the players this month. Kyle Wright had a strong month. Bryce Wilson also. Travis Demeritte had a good month. Alonso Medina. Tough month for Akil Morris, but that'll be alright. Transactions, looks like Yankees move up a top prospect. So now we'll go ahead and check this out. Tommy Pham still hitting pretty well. Haniger hitting decently. Freeman as well, hitting well. JD Martinez a little bit cold. Andres Blanco a little bit cold. Hundley as well, but the catcher spot we're not worried about. Dansby still hitting 300. Camargo up to 260. Eric Young Jr. hitting 350. Ozzie 260. Chris Davis struggling. And Kurt Suzuki is 214. So let's go ahead and move Chris Davis into the lineup every day. See if we can get him some at-bats and turn his season around. So we'll go ahead and do this for a little bit. We're going to go ahead and move him back into the 5 hole. Don't want him hitting second with all that power. And we'll move Blanco into the 2 hole. And with the Mets struggling the way they are, or with the Yankees struggling the way they are, I am not going to play a game against them. And we'll go ahead and simulate this series and the Washington series. So Stroman will get the win. Now Fultonevich on the mound. He will get a no decision on that one. Go ahead, make sure we're keeping up with our scouting. The Red Sox move Brock Holdup. Yankees bring up Daniel Norris. Aaron Blair will get the nod today. And Sam Freeman, back-to-back losses. Looks like he is struggling mightily. We're going to go ahead to monitor his play. Go ahead and simulate these last 2 games here. Vargas gets a loss, and to avoid the sweep, looks like Julio finally gets the first win on the season. So scouting here. Got a pitchers down here. Looks like we're doing the left and velocity. We'll go ahead and scout the west players. Scout that right fielder up there, and we'll scout this catcher right here. So now we'll check up on the notifications, and we're caught up on that. So Andres Blanco still struggling a little bit. Chris Davis hitting a little bit better, bringing his season around. Eric Young Jr. is he might be on his way to earning a starting role in left field, but we will have to monitor that. Pitching wise, Julio having a decent year, not too bad. Stroman having a good year. Fultonevich pitching lights out so far this season. Aaron Blair, decent. And Vargas pitching decent. Mike Minor is pitching the way we would expect. Kroll is having a good season. Armando Rivera brought his season, turned it around. Our 2 setup men are struggling a little bit. Sam Freeman, we'll go ahead and move him out of a closing role, or out of a setup role. Edwin Diaz is pitching well, so we'll go ahead and check up on our prospects. Acuna, decent. Travis Demeritte batting .333. Could get a call up if he starts improving on his stats. Rio Ruiz struggling and dropping. Not good there. See if Acuna's growing. Yep, he is growing, so that's good to see. Austin Riley, good work there from him. Mayatan struggling a little bit, but he will be just okay. Go ahead and check on the AA players. Skip through here real quick, see if we see anything. 310 from Braxton Davison, good work from him. Check up on the pitchers. Alright. Nothing too bad here from the pitchers. Bullpen still struggling a little bit, but we'll be alright. Ray Pena pitching very well. Kyle Wright as well. Colby Allard struggling a little bit, but he'll be alright. And Burgos struggling, as well as Swanson, but they will be okay. So we're going to go ahead and simulate until the Philadelphia series, and most likely play this opening day game at home against the Rangers. So Stroman will get the nod there. Looks like he gets a loss. Fultonevich here against Pittsburgh will get a win. So good outing there from Fultonevich, as he is still pitching lights out. We'll bring Medlin back up to the roster. Looks like we can come back 500 if we get this win here, and we do not. So unfortunately, we need to we need to sweep the series to be above 500. So good chance to do it, as Philadelphia is struggling this season. It looks like there was a trade, so we will check that out any second now. So catcher, we finished that. We were doing outfield, power, and contact, and we did the West, so we'll do the Central. Actually, I believe we did East, so we'll do International, and then pitchers, left and velocity, and we've done all but Central. Alright, so we'll go ahead and check that trade out and see what happens. Where is it at? Red Sox trade Jones for Jones. Not a big trade there, so we're not going to be worried about that. So we'll get into this huge series against Philadelphia. Drew Waters out for 1 to 2 weeks. That is fine. Vargas gets a win there. Julio can bring us back to 500. And we get a loss. So unable to bring back to 500 again. The Braves AA does not have 4 valid lineups. We'll go ahead and fix that. Oh, man. We'll bring in Braxton Davidson. Actually, we'll bring in Pache. So every time we get a chance to bring it back to 500, we find a way to lose the game. We now have valid rosters, lineups rather. We'll go ahead and keep scouting these players. Big game here against Philadelphia. Stroman gets a loss, so now 17 and 20 on the season, as we will go into Fultonevich's next start against the Rangers. Scouting is done again. We'll go ahead and pick up a player to scout there. And the Yankees call up top prospect. For who cares at this point? See how much longer we do have until the draft. Looks like we have about a month, a little less than a month there. We'll see how we're doing in terms of the playoffs. 4.5 games out of the division. And the wild card, it looks like we are 3 games back, so still in good shape. Nothing a little win streak won't change. Our pitchers are pitching very well on the season. It looks like our run support has been the problem. After bringing Chris Davis back off the bench, as well as picking up JD Martinez, I did not think that our bats would be a problem. Freddie Freeman struggling a little bit, Blanco as well. Oh, did not know the bats would be the problem this season, as it looks like we might struggle if they cannot turn the bats around. So in the next episode, we will go ahead and get into the game against the Rangers, as they are 11-28. Should be a good series to get some games back. And then we play Colorado, who's about even with us, and then visit LA for a 2-game series against Mike Trout and the Angels. So with the next episode, we can